What if one of the biggest promises of digital reading wasn't quite true? You see, for years it seemed almost inevitable that physical books would eventually go the way of so many formats before them. Vinyl gave way to tapes, tapes gave way to CDs, CDs gave way to downloads, and downloads gave way to streaming. Each new step promised more convenience, less clutter, better portability, and usually convenience won. So when ebooks and e-ink devices like the Kindle really began to rise, many people assumed paper books were simply next on the chopping block. There was a time, and honestly it really wasn't that long ago, when physical books looked like they might be beginning to fade into irrelevance. Why keep shelves full of bulky books when one slim device could hold thousands? Why deal with storage, damaged covers, or carrying books around when your whole library could fit, well, in your hand? That logic seemed pretty convincing. But physical books didn't disappear. Hey folks, welcome back to the Weekly Spark. I really do appreciate you tapping play. Now, the comparison with vinyl isn't perfect. Physical books have never disappeared in the way that vinyl did. Real-world books, the kind that you can actually hold in your hand, have undoubtedly remained mainstream, widely bought, widely gifted, and widely read. But believe it or not, there really was talk, even if only for a brief while, of physical books going the way of the dodo, or perhaps more accurately going the way that people thought vinyl had gone, replaced by newer, more convenient format. Even though convenience should theoretically win the argument, people still very much value something physical, ownable and lasting. Now, digital books absolutely offer real advantages. An e-reader like Kindle or Kobo can hold thousands of titles, let you instantly buy books, adjust font sizes, search text, sync progress across devices, and travel far more easily than lugging physical books around. And with modern e-ink note-taking devices like the Kindle Scribe, you can go even further, writing in the margins or even on pages where supported, keeping notes searchable and having those notes available across multiple platforms and devices. For convenience, accessibility, and portability, digital reading can be genuinely brilliant. And for many, many people, digital's the better option. Even for those of us who still love physical books, who like seeing them stacked on the shelves and having that visible reminder of what we've read or what we still want to read. Digital books still win in specific situations. Buying a book you've just seen advertised and having it in your hands, as it were, within seconds without having to leave home is a real advantage. Travelling is another one. And reading in the bath is yet another, assuming you trust your waterproof e-reader more than you trust your own grip. But for all of digital reading's advantages, physical books still offer experiences that many readers simply don't want to lose. There's the tactile reality of them, the weight, the cover, the act of turning pages, the visual memory even of where you are in the book. Even the presence of books on shelves as part of your home shows off your interests or perhaps even your identity. A physical book can feel personal in ways digital often struggles to replicate. It can't be gifted, inherited, rediscovered years later, or annotated in handwriting that feels uniquely yours. There's a difference between opening up a notes menu and finding something you scribbled in a margin years ago. Digital can do a lot, but it doesn't always carry the same sense of memory. And then there's focus. Ink devices do a very good job of creating a more distraction-free reading experience, especially compared with phones and traditional tablets. But many readers still find physical books psychologically simpler. There's no battery anxiety, definitely no software updates, no store recommendations, no account, no ecosystem quietly sitting behind the page. At the same time, digital books undeniably win in speed, portability, accessibility, and advanced note-taking. For students, researchers, travellers, or heavy readers, digital can feel less like a compromise and just more like an outright upgrade. So rather than one format completely defeating the other, what's actually happened is more interesting. Books didn't become a winner-takes-all fight. Physical and digital have seemed to have settled into a coexistence, each serving different priorities, different lifestyles, and perhaps different ideas of what ownership should feel like. But convenience has a habit of obscuring trade-offs. Recent concerns about Amazon effectively phasing out meaningful support for older devices have reminded many readers that digital ecosystems aren't permanent. When older hardware begins losing support, store access, or compatibility, it forces people to confront an uncomfortable truth. When you bought those ebooks, you didn't buy them in the traditional sense, because legally, in most cases, digital books are usually licensed rather than fully owned. Your purchases are often tied to platforms, software ecosystems, account access, and DRM protections. That doesn't mean that your books are about to vanish overnight, but it does mean your practical control may not be as complete as many have assumed. And for some readers, that realization's been a genuine wake-up call. And that's why many users have turned to things like Calibre, or even jailbreaking older devices. Now, Calibre itself is legal and widely used as a personal ebook management tool. It lets users organize their collections, convert compatible formats, and preserve their libraries where permitted. It might even allow you to play around with DRM. Jailbreaking's a bit more legally nuanced. In many countries, modifying hardware you own is generally lawful, but bypassing security protections can enter legal grey areas depending on local copyright laws. For many readers, though, this isn't really about piracy. It's about preservation. They're simply trying to maintain access to content they've already paid for on hardware they already own in an increasingly disposable digital landscape. Physical books, on the other hand, remain comparatively simple. You buy one and that copy's yours. You can lend it, sell it, gift it, annotate it, or leave it to family. There's no login, no battery, no software support, and no server dependency. Now, of course, physical books aren't immortal either. Fire, water damage, mold, decay, or even a simple passage of time can destroy them. Nothing lasts forever, digital or physical. But there's still a practical difference. Physical ownership generally gives you far stronger control over your specific copy, while digital ownership prioritizes convenience over autonomy. And perhaps that's the larger issue here. For decades, technology has sold convenience as pure progress, and often it is. But convenience can also create dependency. Streaming removed shelves, but it also removed permanence. Digital purchases reduced clutter, but they also removed the tactile response of holding something physical. Cloud libraries have made access easier from wherever on whatever, but tied that access to systems outside your control. And maybe that's why physical books remain so relevant. Not because readers reject technology and not because of nostalgia, but because digital life is increasingly shaped by subscriptions, licenses, and platform locking, and true ownership is beginning to feel ever more valuable. Physical books are still around because they answer a very human desire. When we pay for something, we want to feel that it's actually ours. Physical books give us that plain, uncomplicated sense of ownership. So, what do you think? Are physical books still thriving because people genuinely prefer them, or are more readers simply becoming wary of the hidden compromises that come with digital convenience? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, a like would be lovely, and subscribing means you won't miss the next episode. I'm trying to get the Weekly Spark over the 500 subscriber line by August this year. So if you're not subscribed yet, please do consider hitting that button and helping me reach that target. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, or you can scan the QR code that's been on the screen throughout this video. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Mark from the Weekly Spark, and I'll see you in the next one.